Well, welcome everyone. This is Mark Harris and my illustrious co-host Ann DeVere. Say hi, everybody. Say hi, Ann, to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
And we also have Barbara Wainwright with us. Say hi, Barbara.
Hello and welcome.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about a really important subject because we're talking about Web TV and the Web TV revolution overall. We're talking about how important this is because we know that the number one modality in all of life and all of media is TV. It has been for some 50 years, of course, and longer. And so we have to create a situation where we understand the value of this and what's really happening with the amount of people who are seeing this type of, we'll call it, a number of people who are going on to not only taking TV from the traditional channels, but now going onto the web. Each night, 20 years ago, there's 100 million people watching shows on like 3 stations, like NBC, CBS, and NBC, and of course that turned into only a few million now watching on these each evening. Matter of fact, recently they had CNN only had 250,000 viewers in an evening prime time kind of slot, which is amazing. So what we're talking about is it's going from really high numbers down to nothing, and of course the web is just turning the opposite way, because not only are people watching it because it's so interactive, they can watch what they want, when they want to watch it, they can watch things that are more geared towards them, but they can now also do it, not just time shift it, but they can also create a situation where they can watch it on their phones wherever they're at. They can watch it on their iPads. They can watch any kind of video trainings, TV shows, wherever they want. So the trend has obviously been long coming. Many people thought that broadcast.com in the 90s was going to be it, of course YouTube and so forth, but now it's finally got to the point where literally any company, people, media companies, just individuals, entrepreneurs, companies who are trying to get their message out to the world, whether it be authors, speakers, coaches, experts, whether it be people who have businesses who need to share information about their niche to the world, they can now get that out in a simple and easy way to millions of people pretty easily. So tonight we're talking about that whole overall thing. And one of the big things, one of the big opportunities is to actually create your own web TV show. And so Ann DeVere is the leading expert in actually helping you do that. And there's a lot of reasons for that, because what she did was she brought together, we'll call it a dream team, okay, crack troops of people who understand everything that there is to know about creating a successful web TV show. And what that means is, it means everything from creating the show, planning for the show, monetizing the show, and all that. And that's how I got involved, because she's really good at it. We do a lot of web TV stuff ourselves, and so I created the Web TV Mastermind for the purpose of bringing on great people, world-class people like Ann, so the people I partner with can create these great web TV shows. And of course, we can bring partners into the show. We can have partners creating these shows. We can have partners syndicate these shows and broadcast these shows in all kinds of different places, online and offline. We'll talk about some of that. And at the same time, create some really amazing monetizing events. And even if you just had products and services that fit to be on a show like this, you're going to want to know about this so that you can effectively monetize your solutions to those different markets that are being created through these shows. So anyway, without further ado, I'd like to introduce again here Ann as she kind of goes through some details about how important this is, and then we're going to go into the 12 steps on how to create this. So go ahead, Ann.
Hello, thanks, Mark. Yeah, it's such an exciting time, and I love the way you put it. It's not just for people who want to be, talk show hosts. Talk show hosts need guest experts, and there's all kinds of opportunities, even for people who don't even want to be on TV. There are all kinds of opportunities for product demonstrations, and you name it. There's just TV. It's just like traditional TV. There's everything that's needed. And it's such an exciting time, and I'm psyched, and this is, oh my goodness, what a beginning of a whole new wave. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go into split screen here, do a little bit of the fancy, production tools here that we have. That's actually very simple to use, by the way. So, but what's going on out there is literally, like Mark was saying, we are at the beginning. This is an amazing time in history. We have Google Hangouts, and WebTV. They joined together and they're making some huge waves. And only going to get bigger. So basically, Google Hangouts and WebTV combined.
Hey, Ann, real quick little interjection. Take
Yes.
your microphone and put it about maybe an inch or two closer. Because
Okay.
you're just cutting in and out just a tad bit. There you go. Just bring it a little bit.
Better?
Perfect. Much better. Perfect.
Well, we don't want to miss a word. No, no. Too much of important information here.
There you go.
Okay. So basically, web TV is changing every aspect of marketing as we know it. And this is an amazing time for you as well. So basically, you got to decide what do you want to do here. Are you going to ride the wave or are you going to get swept under? Well, we're here to make sure that you don't get swept under. We're here to make sure you're riding the wave all the way to success. So the first thing we want to do is really put things in perspective. What is Google Hangouts? Well, it's really a very powerful broadcasting platform, just like the broadcasting platforms that you've been watching for years. All the major TV networks. They're broadcasting on a platform. Okay, that's it. So the same thing is happening with Google Hangout, except the tool is in your hands now. You can do anything you want, and this is where you have the freedom to show up any way you want, and people are really catching on big right now. You see all kinds of great cooking shows out there, all kinds of experiential things. You have people broadcasting their concepts from their garages globally and really building a huge fan base. The President of the United States and the First Lady are using Google Hangouts to connect with the public. It's very, very powerful. So don't underestimate what's right at your fingertips just because it's free. A lot of people are saying, oh my God, everybody is on. You know what? It's a tiny fraction of people who are on right now. And a lot of people are showing up, in a very nonchalant way, which is great. Get on, get comfortable with it. But you can actually show up as a talking head, as we call it, or you can be broadcasting your own web TV show. The same tools, you can look either way, and that's what we're really excited about sharing with you. Okay, this is really important for you to get because you can do anything you want at this time. So the other thing that's really huge here is that you have the option to actually go live from wherever you are, like we're doing right now. Okay, we're interacting with you live, and those of you who want to interact with us, go ahead and post things below because we're going to be asking questions. Maybe you can even join us. But if you don't want to go live, if you don't want to interact with people live, you have the option to actually be broadcasting pre-recorded shows. And that gives you a lot of freedom. So it makes it easier for you to actually produce your shows, but it also gives you freedom to do whatever you want with your time. What do you want to do with your life? What are some of the things you've been putting up? Maybe you can.
And just one thing. Well, I'm going to just talk for a second, and I'd like you to take your microphone and just probably bring it another inch closer. I think it's designed to be a little further out, but you can just bend it in a little bit for a second because it kind of went back to where it was. But just one thing about that. While you're fixing that, I'm just going to say one thing about what Ann just said. I don't know if she caught what you just said because maybe the volume wasn't that great. But if you realize that you can go live, of course we're live right now. And of course, if you're watching this later than the time that we had this posted, you're not watching it live. You're watching it via maybe a YouTube video that's recording. But regardless, the fact is you can actually broadcast as live, even if it is pre-recorded. I'll tell you, some of the projects that I've worked on, even for my own business as well as for my clients, we've made millions of dollars in pre-recorded trainings. Pre-recorded, webinars, seminars, teleseminars, and things like that. And the same thing is no different in Hangouts and WebTV. In fact, even in the regular TV world, most of the money for a show is not when the show is live. In fact, many of them are not live. It's when they are actually pre-recorded in front of maybe an audience. Sometimes they're played as reruns over and over again. And that's really ultimately where most of the money for most shows are made, even though some of it's made up front. A lot of it's on the ongoing places. So regardless of what you're doing, the ability to play a show live or pre-recorded and then played live at a certain date and time is a huge opportunity. And here's why. Ultimately, when you're creating shows, especially if you're going to sell something on the show, what ends up happening is you have to sometimes tweak the message. The first time you do it, it may be a great show, it may have done really well. But when you talk to people afterwards, they say, well, I didn't really like what you said, about this. Or, it's 10 people may tell you when you follow up with phone calls that, you never mentioned anything about this. You could actually edit things, put things into it, add things around it, delete things out of it, and literally create, we'll call the perfect pre-recorded message. And therefore, there's some amazing value in that, especially if you are going to sell any product, services, or solutions on a web TV show. I just need to make sure you said it. So anyway, Ann, let's test your mic out.
Okay, well, testing 1, 2, 3.
You're perfect. Excellent. So go ahead. You're
okay, great. Now, actually, Mark, you brought up a very important point about the production aspect of it, because we are all busy professionals. Okay, we're not in a business of just showing up and somebody. We're not the superstars. We are in business, so we're very busy. Now, one of the things that happens is a lot of times, just like the traditional TV shows, they can go into the studio in one day. They will shoot 3, 4, 5, or 6 episodes, and you can do the same thing. So just going in there, allocating one day a month, you can produce a lot of great content too. So it's not really that time consuming. The reason I'm saying is because a lot of times people have that concern. It's like, I'm so busy already, how can I do it? Well, the bottom line here is that if you do take one day a week or 2 days a week or one day a month, whatever time you have, and you produce these videos, it will free you up so you can do some of the things that you want to do, because they will be broadcasting while you're attending to other business. Videos will be marketing you. Your TV shows will be marketing you, whatever you put out there. So it gives you more freedom. You're leveraging the videos. And again, if you want to take a little bit of time to go out there and enjoy the country club life, that a lot of us don't get a chance to do that often unless we're really streamlined, well, you actually can. Take time to do some of the things you enjoy. Or what if you haven't had a chance to spend a lot of time with your kids? They grow up very fast, I know. I'm a mother of a 16-year-old, and I wonder how she got to be 16. She was just 2 yesterday, I think, But also the other thing, too, a lot of us, we don't have enough time to really take vacations the way we want to. What if you want to cruise the world? Well, you can actually be broadcasting your show globally. So now you can actually be writing it off on taxes because you're on production on location, and you're traveling and seeing the sights and the sounds that you've been putting up. So how is all this information sitting with you? I hope it's exciting, because it is very exciting for me and for a lot of other people who are jumping on. So just to put things a little bit more in perspective for you, because we really want you to get excited about jumping, we're right at the edge here. We're on the cutting edge of technology and web TV. So right now, today, in one day, 89 million people will be watching 1.2 billion videos. And a lot of it is on YouTube. And a lot of it is, of course, on Google Hangout Live, and the recording goes automatically onto YouTube. So you have 2 in one place. And there's, of course, Facebook. Everything you broadcast on Google Hangout can go directly on your Facebook now as well. Let's not forget the mobile phones, and, of course, all the traditional broadcasting venues, between video blogs and all these other opportunities you have. So there is just no shortage of places to go right now. But a lot of people are still not taking advantage of it. Okay.
Let me just say one quick little note here. One of the things we need to kind of realize, and this is all of us who are in business, is that when the big 3 networks were in their heyday, of course they spent billions of dollars creating these networks so they could have powerhouses in their media platforms, of course, and then they had these networks of affiliates throughout these cities throughout the United States and beyond. And so, but now for very little money, we're talking about being able to broadcast to whoever we want. Now, you may not have an audience of 1 million people. You may not even want an audience of 1 million people because of whatever reasons. But now it's become possible. And it wasn't really possible for you to create a show where maybe 10,000 really focused people were on watch the show, because it wasn't worth the network's time to have only 10,000 people watching a show like that. But you see, with web TV, okay, not only is it practical, not only is it financially sound, but in fact, 10,000 hungry, focused, dedicated, targeted people who are in a specific industry, market, niche, whatever it is, those people could be extremely valuable to not only you, but your expert guests, your sponsors, your advertisers, your own products and service, whatever it may be. So now you can find those little people throughout the world and bring them to one place where every so often, maybe once a week, maybe it makes sense once a month, you have this show that really brings them up to speed on the advances in your industry, advances in your market or niche, or things that are going on, or whatever it takes. We can talk about content later, but the whole point is to gather a whole market throughout the world, okay, for very little money, create a show that everybody in that niche has to see. To be the first person to do it, so that literally that's the show they go to. And make it so good that they want to keep on coming back for more. And if you do that, you'll be the leader forever, because a lot of times there's not really two shows in a market that are the leaders. There's one, right? And number two is, who wants to watch two shows, okay, in the same subject when you got one that's doing the job? So literally, now is the time. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Go ahead, Ed.
Oh, absolutely. Great point, Mark. Now, here's the other thing that I want to share with everybody. Right now, there's such a shortage of great content. Technology being what it is, we have so many opportunities to get, the shows out there, but most of the shows on WebTV are not of great quality. As a matter of fact, there's people are calling me asking for content, and here, take a look at this. Take a look at this. Recently, I had a huge network that has access to over 200 million viewers a month contact me because they had found our access to expert interviews online, and one of them actually was Mark Harris's interview that you probably will be seeing or have already seen, and they wanted to put our shows online. And get this, one of the distribution channels is at the airport. You know how you've been sitting at the airports watching all these great shows, interviews, and great tidbits and about different products and services? Well, until now, CNN had the monopoly on it. Well, no more. Channel, Clearview, there's a whole bunch of, oh my goodness, we can't even get into it. Put it this way, right now, with the connections that we have, over 200 million viewers a month are waiting, looking for content. So do you want to be one of those? We're looking for you. And this is actually, it's going to be a small window of opportunity, because as people see, there's a huge opportunity. They're all stepping up. They're getting the training that they need. They want to produce the shows. And so jump in right now, like Mark was saying. You get in there now. You start now. You're going to be the leader in your niche. You're going to be the go-to show host in your niche. So just, think about it. If 200 million people don't accept you, but there are a lot more out there. These are just the people that we have access to, and I'm excited about it.
Me too. Matter of fact, that is probably, if you had to think about one slide in the entire presentation that Ann just talked about, it's got to hit you over the head a little bit. Because obviously we know billions of people are watching videos on YouTube, and there's ways of targeting that kind of traffic. But there's some, when you're sitting in an airport, as an example, or you're sitting in the hundreds and thousands of different places in this one network, and we're creating alliances with all kinds of networks. But this one network, you're sitting in an airport, okay, they don't have a switcher for everybody to switch stations with, right? I mean, it's not like you can go to lots of different places. I mean, sure, people have their iPads and they'll go to different places on the internet. But the fact is, the one that's broadcasting where the sound's there and everybody's watching the exact same thing in these airports is one show. And if we can get you into that show, if we can get you into a place like that, literally you're in a situation where you have a captive audience. And so and these opportunities, as Ann just said, are like limited, because sometimes when they get a slot, sometimes that slot will stay there for 10 years. You saw, programs like MASH or whatever, who was a raging success. That was in that slot for 10 years on network TV. So if you get the right slot and you have the right content, we're going to create a situation where we're going to create a lot of money for a lot of us, because we're placing you in different places. In fact, that's why I'm on this hangout with Ann, and that's why I brought her in as a partner, because of the partnering deals that I want to create with you and the people who I want on your shows, or you to be on our other partner shows, and a lot of the other sponsors and things like that we want to bring to the table for this. In fact, this, well, we can talk about that later. I'm going to show you how that you can actually get into this, and it won't even cost you anything. But that's another story. But let's talk about how that works a little bit. But otherwise, just think of this. The networks need content. These TV sets that are popping up all over the place, these large screens that are in all kinds of different stores and Walmarts and everywhere, they need content, they want content, they're excited about content, And this is the way they would like to get it, from great people who have great content, well orchestrated. And that's what Ann's going to talk to you about, how to create that kind of show. Go ahead, Ann.
All right. So, okay, you got me even more excited, Mark. I tell you, the possibilities of teaming up with these amazing people that are on, I love it. Between your thought leadership, all the things that you put together, and access to WebTV, it's amazing what we can put together. A whole network of amazing thought leaders who are really transforming the lives of millions, billions of people actually now. So, awesome. Now, just so you feel comfortable as how did all this come about, because WebTV is fairly new, I want you to know what we're putting together is not new. The information that I'm sharing with you is so powerful that we recently were invited to present at the Digital Hollywood Conference. Now, if you haven't heard of it, it's a conference for TV and film professionals. Twice a year they get together, spring and fall, to find out all the latest, on technology. They all want to be, on what's going on. Well, we were invited to present on Google Hangouts. We were the only ones invited to present on Google Hangouts. That's how powerful Google Hangouts has become. They could not leave it out of a Digital Hollywood Conference. So if you think you're playing small, I tell you, you have an amazing tool right at your fingertips, and we're going to show you how to use this. Like any tool, if you know how to use it, you can do some amazing things. So the other thing that I want to share with you is this system, the process that I'm sharing with you, what we're sharing with you, it has been perfecting for over 8 years. We've been interviewing expert next door, what I call the expert next door, and showing them how to show up on camera in a powerful way and really be interviewed in a powerful way on television, on traditional television. Well, the same training is available now for web TV. That we fine-tune the whole process. And I'll tell you something else too. Does that fella look very familiar to you? Well, remember I told you Mark Harris was one of the experts that we interviewed. He literally came into Channel 6 in San Diego. That's where we were shooting. We would take over the TV station for the weekend and interview some of the most amazing guests for Access to Experts TV. But here's the thing that I want Mark to share with you. Again, it's not what you have, it's what you do with it that makes a huge difference. So Mark, if you could share what your interview and what you've done with it and the success you've had since then.
Well, what I did was we did a little research about 4 or 5 years ago, and found out that YouTube, as an example, which is the second largest search engine in the world, next to Google, which they're both connected. And the fact is that they actually had real people looking at the rankings on most of the keyword terms to see whether or not it was valuable to have those videos in the rankings that they had. So they actually looked at these things to see who would rank where. And the neat thing about it is we found out that literally interviews of all kinds, whether it be on like national TV or just even ones that are like smaller interviews in local stations, or even just almost homemade interviews, literally were almost always selected as quality content by these evaluators. And literally that allowed me to get at the top of the rankings on the keywords that I wanted to get on front of for years. And so the value that brought to the table for me was something amazing. And what that means for you is, picture this: whether you have a show or you're in a show or whatever, you're connected with a show, however you decide to partner in this kind of deal, think of it this way, is that if you have a show, every one of your interviewees, if you decide to even have an interview-based show, but every one of these interviewees is going to eventually have a YouTube video, which is going to create rank juice, if you want to use it for that term, with YouTube, and allow it to rank high because it's an interview. And because of that, and if you do the other things right, that Ann will show you and we can show you and things like that, what can happen is you will actually be to the point where you'll not only be ranked, stay ranked for years on a term that otherwise you can't rank for if your life depended on it. I've had terms where I've done the same exact thing, where literally somebody who's been entrenched there for years, they have tens of thousands of links on their own sites and networks, and there are legitimate documents and content and videos. I've done Hangouts, created videos with it as interviews, and they rank on the first page almost immediately, and they stay that way because of the situation of the value that we're talking about here. So when you combine all these things, think of this. That means not only is your show ranking because it's interviews, but now every interviewee, every guest you have, every opportunity that exists becomes literally a miniature profit center for you. A profit center to bring in day after day, week after week, month after month, opt-ins, leads, sales, just from literally doing an interview series. And it's I can't tell you how powerful it is. So that's basically the simple way of putting it.
Well, actually, one of the things that I like, Mark, is I remember early on when when people would call your office, you tell them, just go to YouTube and put in these, whatever the keyword was that you wanted them to put in. That's all you would tell them. You didn't even tell them to
exactly.
You.
It's true. It was, matter of fact, I have so many people. I would tell them that. I'd literally say, go to YouTube, type in this keyword term for years, and they say, well, how do you know you're still ranked there? I said, look, I've been ranked there for 3 years. I don't think it's changed today, and so it's how it worked. So it was really kind of neat how that works. It was just a level of confidence that added to not only me, but more importantly the people I was working with, to know that this guy is recognized and things like that in these certain areas that I needed to be focused on. But anyway, it is a really valuable thing. And of course, SEO changes all the time, but one thing that doesn't change: if you're having a show that is continually talking about one subject, okay, you'll constantly be at the top. Because let me tell you one other thing that you want to know about SEO. Because Google, I wrote an article about this several years ago. Google is a magazine. I know it sounds silly, but the fact is every page is a front page of a magazine. So whatever term you're typing in, do they want to have the same thing on the front cover of their magazine every week or every day or month? Of course not. So they change up the content, and the best way they do that is through the freshness, which means if you're doing a weekly show on a topic, every week you're going to be the freshest content in that niche. And then when you connect with it, the power of your network that will help you develop to promote it, literally no one will be able to overtake you, because you'll be the freshest and most powerful on that page in Google. So it's a really amazing thing. So go ahead.
Okay.
I get excited. Sorry.
No, I am. I'm just loving it. I'm sitting here with a big grin because I remember, just telling everybody myself, oh, just go look up, and you'll find Mark Harris. He's been there for about 4 years now, so, no problem. But, here's the thing. It's not just that it's a video, it's how you produce the video, the content in the video that makes a huge difference as well. So there are a combination of different things that have to work together, and we have cracked the code on it, and it works. And as a matter of fact, the gentleman you're seeing in the video right there, and in the monitor behind me rather, is Kyriakos Souris, a business consultant. He came to a 2-day training with us, because he wanted to know how to get on traditional TV, how to be the go-to expert when something breaks in the news about our economy or anything that would, even remotely have to do with business growth. Well, he got up, and right away, the thing about the news, by the way, once you're on one, different shows, they watch it. It's very competitive. It's like, it's like an incestuous a little community, because everybody wants to have the latest, greatest, the person who's creating the buzz on their show. So they literally started fighting to get him on their shows, and he's still being invited back to Fox and CNN and all the top networks. He was a commentator when the president was talking about some of the policies. So what I'm saying is that he was good at what he did. He's a great business consultant, and so were you at what you do. If you know how to use the tool, again, it goes right back to knowing how to use the tool. If you know how to do it, you can not only dominate YouTube, you can dominate network television, just because people want great information delivered in a great way from somebody who knows what they're talking about. And that's you. So let's, I hope right now you're getting even more excited about the possibilities, because we have actually figured out how to do this with what I call the expert next door.
Just a quick question. When he was started to do that, I know you trained him on how to do his media training and all that stuff. Where was he at, and where did you take him in that little process that he was able to do that? Which is a big part of this. It's like a lot of people are scared to death of being on, in front of a live audience, or sure, and a lot of times people are even more that they're scared because they're going to be on camera it's going to be up and recorded for eternity. So I know you've helped everybody get rid of all those things. You got all these systems for doing that. But how did you help him to effectively go on national TV and things like that?
Well, actually, he was a recognized expert in his industry to begin with. But being on national TV, well, for one thing, if you have a video clip of you being interviewed on your expertise, then you can call any TV station and say, "Here's what I look like. Here's what my content is, and here's what my message is." They need to see that, and that makes a huge difference because it's usually a catch-22 situation in something like this. If you are not already on TV, they can't see how you look and sound. They don't want to take a chance by putting you there because they will look bad. People will switch the channels. So they want to see how you are on TV before they put you on TV. Well, the challenge is that if you haven't been on TV, how do you get on TV? So this right here is a great opportunity because WebTV is TV. You can interview some of the thought leaders in your industry, and right there it's going to elevate your expert status because by association, that's instant elevation. Or they can interview you, and again, because you're seen with the thought leaders of your industry, that's instant elevation. And that's like Kyriakis leveled it to the max because he took the great interview that we had and he sent it to all the TV stations. And then he actually said, "Look, I was on NBC. Don't you want me on Fox?" Or it was very interesting. Like, it happened instantly, really, very, very quickly. And here's the other thing, too. When something breaks in the news, they want to have somebody they can trust to show up. They don't have time to go searching who the expert is. They can't plan. They need somebody instantaneously. So all the TV stations have a list of experts that they call. Now, if you're on that list, you're going to get calls all the time. They were literally fighting for him because, when something broke in the news, everybody wanted him to go to their TV station. But now he can actually get on his web TV, and be interviewed remotely. Whereas, like when he went through a program like about 5-6 years ago, and at that time he was still traveling to different TV stations, so he was limited in which stations he could show up. But now, because of web TV, he's like, "Sure, I can be with you 10:30. Okay, I'll be with you 11 o'clock." And he can click, 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 do what we're doing, and show up and be the commentator wherever they need him. Now he can go global. So that's exactly what's at your fingertips right now. Web TV is global. Every nook and cranny of the globe is covered by the World Wide Web, and hence so are you. And you never know where your best clients are going to be. Who's watching those? And again, it's when people see you on TV, it's automatically assumed that you're an expert and you're good at what you do. It's just one of those things because unless somebody is that good, quite frankly, they don't have the confidence to really get up there. They don't have the knowledge to be speaking, effortlessly. So now it's sort of like a sorting and sifting process because only really the good people make it up that high, and rightly so, because if you're really good at what you do, there are a lot of people who are needing your help, and you being able to transform their lives, it's something you must do. You must. It's just one of those things. It's not just for us. We're here to transform other people's lives with our gifts. So using the right tools is the way to go. So in
short, everybody, I want you guys all to understand this. As you're watching this briefing on this really important, powerful strategy here, is that ultimately that means that not only can you dominate your market and literally create a situation by which you can dominate, rankings in different terms. You can actually bring in all the people into a place, elevate your own status as a thought leader and expert. But literally, if you created a show like this, when the national media needs an expert in that particular area, they're going to find you really easily, and they're going to know that you're somebody who not only knows what they're doing, but actually you already have your own show, so it means you know how to actually immediately be ready for an interview for them and just how to present yourself. They'll have all over the web, seeing how well you actually hold yourself out and how, because you've been trained and things like that. So it really is an amazing thing. The value of the exposure that you can get, and the prestige and everything else. So there's some really amazing things here. I just wanted to make sure you're all aware of that. Thanks, Ann. Appreciate that.
Actually, one of the strategies of getting on web TV, it's one of the on traditional TV is one of the strategies of growing your web TV audience. Because millions of people see you, whether it's a 2 or 3 minute interview, millions of people will see you, and you can tell them about the TV show you have where they can go to listen about, and learn on the topic. for a whole hour. People will go, okay? They will find you because as soon as we see somebody we like, there we are, Googling away, right? So they will find you. So let's move on because we have a lot of great content that we have to share. We have to still share with you the 12 steps that's going to make it very easy for you to get out there. Bottom line, this is the gold rush of Web TV. That's exactly what it is. So get out there, okay? It's time for you to claim your territory and claim it. Claim it big. Be the go-to show host before somebody else does, because you know what? People aren't going to wait for you to get ready. They're going to jump in, okay? So get ready. You have the opportunity. So what I want.
Before you get started on that, just one little quick thing. So picture this. I just want to, before Ann gets started, because she's going to share with you some amazing things. If you wanted her to work with you directly to help you to create a show, she'd charge you $25,000 minimum just to kind of work with you to help you get all that done. And what I want you to understand is that what you're about to learn about how to make this happen is these 12 steps she's going to be talking about in a few minutes, is that these things are what you need to do regardless. They are what you need to do if you're going to have maybe someone like Ann help you, or somebody else help you, or do it yourself. The only difference is you're going to right now know these 12 steps, and they are what you absolutely need to do. So I want you to get some note paper out and make sure that you're ready to take some good notes on this, because it is what you need to do. And what you're going to find is the thoughts that you have about each of these are going to be more exciting than maybe even what Ann says, even though what Ann says is going to be exciting. So therefore, you want to write down as much as you can about this, because it's really, really powerful. One other thing I want to tell you is that while Ann would normally charge you $25,000 to do something like this, I want to make it available to you today at no charge. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to be able to have Ann help you create a web TV show and have you cost you nothing. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that a little later on this training. But I first want you to see the level of value we're talking about and what she's willing to do for you. Anyway, so go ahead, Ann.
Okay. And by the way, so you get excited about participating. I want you to get excited about participating right now. So there is a really cool, super cool $97 gift that you're going to get if you start commenting. Ask questions and put some comments just below. Now, those who do that and we see your interaction, you're going to get this gift, and I'm going to tell you in just a minute, and you're going to be super excited about what it is. Plus, it's a really good one. So now,
and one quick thing, your microphone is a little bit, I'm not sure if it's like a one-sided, like unidirectional or something, but it's just kind of the wrong place, and it just is doing some things. But when you have it right there, the right place, it works fine, but it just kind of moves out of the way, kind of. I just want to make sure it's good.
How is it now? Better?
Yeah, right now it's good.
Well, I will stay still. You know, I get excited, I have to move, so I have to stay still.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I have a question for you. What is keeping you from using the #1 marketing tool today? Okay, what's keeping you? So let's see some of just think about it. And on your own, I'm going to tell you the top 3 things that usually pop up when we're working with people. Maybe one of them is yours, but if not, put down what it is, because we want to eliminate them. #1, it's fear. People are afraid of looking and sounding unprofessional on camera. Well, you know what? We're going to eliminate that, because quite frankly, people want to see who you are. We want to see real people, and you will know how to get comfortable once you know what to do, right? Fear is just of the unknown. Okay? Then there is the cost. People think it's going to cost so much more money than it is. Actually, you can literally get started with a few $100s and go up from there, but you can get started. The whole thing is to get started. I'm going to share some information with you as to where you can get started and how you can get started very fast and easily. And finally, the third one is a lack of knowledge. This is like, well, I don't know what to do with my videos. I don't know how to get out there. Well, I think we already eliminated this one, because remember, we have over 200 million viewers waiting for you. So if you can follow some direction, if you can do what we said, if you can follow these 12 steps, you're going to produce a great video, you're going to produce a great show, you're going to be a great guest expert, and we're going to be able to use the content. So okay, just pay attention and go through it. And if you have some other fears, something else is standing in the way, go ahead and post the comment and ask the questions just below, and we will address it and eliminate it, okay? So let's get to it. So the big question is, what does it take to produce a high-quality web TV show and turn it into cash. And that's what we're here for, right? That's the big question. Well, it takes the trifactor. So what's the trifactor? This is the system that we have been using. This is the foundation of everything we teach. For a video to be powerful, for it to work, you have to do three things, and you can't leave any of it out. You have to get ready. You have to prepare yourself, and I'll tell you how to prepare yourself in just a second. You have to get on the set, and that means you have to produce a video. You can't do anything without a video. And then you have to get paid. You have to have an idea how you're going to be making money from this. So what happens if you only do one or two of these things? Well, let me show you quickly. What if you get ready? You spend a lot of time and energy in preparing yourself, and you produce videos, but you don't have a monetization channel. You don't have a plan of how you're going to be marketing it. Well, you're going to be wasting a lot of time and money, as some of you may already know, okay? What if you take time to get ready and you go out there and start making money? A lot of you are doing this because you're so good at what you do. You prepare yourself, you know how to get out there, you meet clients, and clients hire you, but you haven't yet started monetizing with video, okay? So video is the key. If you leave video out, what's going to happen? You're going to be outdated very quickly, because we're at a place right now where you have to use video, you have to leverage video. Well, what if you get on a set, you're producing your videos and getting out there making money with them. A lot of people are now doing that too, but if you don't take time to really prepare yourself, you are going to be damaging your credibility, because the viewer is getting more sophisticated. Okay, at one time we used to have to really spend a lot of time getting ready, get makeup artists and all that to get on camera. Well, now we don't really have to do that. There are easier ways to do it. And then we went all the way to, just put on any t-shirt and get on camera. Well, that worked for a little while too. But again, people are watching TV. How do they expect you to look on TV? You have to look and sound professional. Okay, so that's the whole point here. You need to do all those three things, and that's what the 12 steps that we're going to be sharing with you are going to walk you through right now. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first is factor one. So factor one is all about getting ready. So one of the things that you need to do right off the bat is decide what is the title you want to claim. And Mark, you have a great way of talking about this, as far as being a go-to show host.
Yeah, actually, this is, one of the, I have several key trainings that I charge thought leader clients and coaches for that are on the positioning thing. And of course, in the end, it's like, okay, if you had to guess, what do you want to be king of the world at, or queen of the world, what exactly would you want to be the king or queen of the world in? Now, the beautiful thing is that if an opportunity like this arises, which means literally, the promise of WebTV has been here since the early 70s? I don't know if you know this or not, but the promise is, one of my colleagues, his name is Alvin Toffler, he wrote a book called The Third Wave and Future Shock and all that. And when I was talking with him, he was sharing with me how literally it was planned that there was going to be thousands of channels on even cable and all these other things, and eventually the internet came and kind of surpassed that plan, and a lot of other stuff like that happened. But they've been talking about this for a long time. When the web came around and it became commercially available in 1994 or so, the fact is that this was the big hope. This is what all these companies, these .coms, were thinking, wow, this is going to be amazing, we can do all this other stuff. But of course, the bandwidth wasn't there, the software wasn't there, the ability to do it wasn't there, there's so many challenges to make that happen. Finally, over literally almost 2 decades later, right? We're talking 94 to 2004. It's crazy, because I remember when it was just going on, it seems like yesterday. But bottom line is that you're talking about them now having the ability to make this finally happen. So when you have as Ann said at the beginning, this tidal wave, this tsunami effect, this trend that is so big that you can't ignore it, you're now at a position where you can literally take a leadership role in a different way, which means that you can actually own a chunk of somebody's mind, because you're the only or the first or the leading web TV show on your topic. And if you can do that, now in their mind you're saying, look, there's no doubt about it, if you're the first web TV show on your topic, you are the leading web TV show on your topic because there's nobody else, right? So that's one way of doing it. But the whole point is you can also stay that leader because you're the first, and as long as you're running as fast as your second competitor, right, you are now in a situation where you can always stay in the lead in that way. And so that's an amazing thing. Plus, you'll always be the first in those kind of situations. So the first mover advantage creates something that is really powerful and will allow you to maintain a leadership role for many years and decades to come, especially since this is the #1 modality. Teleseminars, okay, they would be passing because it's only audio. Webinars, it's only kind of visual in audio, but it's not interactive video until they've started adding that recently to it. But now we're talking about literally whatever you can do on TV, and now interactive TV, okay, now we've got to a point where I don't know, other than maybe holographic 3D images, okay, where we could go and have a higher modality than other than being in person than web TV. So we're talking about a pretty amazing and pretty big opportunity here. So.
No, absolutely. So once we decide, and most people, like, you probably noticed that Mark and I are really supporting you and thinking big and going big. Well, what happens a lot of times is somebody says, well, I want to be the best known expert for, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, that's so big. Can I do it? Well, step 2 takes care of that because we literally walk you through the process of stepping into your celebrity self. So you feel comfortable about sharing your gifts and understanding that it's part of who you are and you must share it. So there's a whole process that goes through it. You will go through, and you're not only going to feel comfortable in front of the camera, you're going to be excited about taking responsibility for your gifts and for sharing it with other people. So step 2 takes care of that. Then,
one quick thing about that, just 10 seconds, and that is this, is that, if any of you has a fear of being public speaking, fear of being on camera, fear of being how anybody's going to look, just think every celebrity in the world feels the exact same way. Anne has been working with these kind of people for decades, and her husband, okay, and therefore she understands how to completely eliminate all of that. So when she likes to put it in that way, but really one way of looking at it is like, get rid of all the fear. Another way of saying it is to step into your celebrity self, because that's the positive way of looking at it. So no matter how you're looking at it, you need to learn how to do that, because one of the best ways, you may have a message. I hope you have a message. And I hope you want to get that message out to the world, or at least the segment of the world that you can serve. And to do that, one of the best ways to do that is to become the most trusted advisor to that marketplace. So why I'm saying this to you is, in order to do that, being the celebrity, for some reason, makes people believe that you know more than most other people. Marlon Brando is quoted as saying something profound. He said, look, when you're famous, people ask your opinion about things you know nothing about. Right? He says, and the worst thing about it is you give it. Okay, so you have this really amazing factor that comes in with celebrity, and it also solves the fear problem. So you have to learn how to become this, and Anne is world class in helping you do that. So that's the second step you have to do regardless. So go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
More than 10 seconds. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's okay. And I hope everybody has carved out 90 minutes, because we asked them to carve out 90 minutes for
Perfect.
this. We are going to be having some what I call spotlight sessions, where we're going to be literally interacting with you. So, but this information, by the way, what I'm sharing with you, you follow what we're doing, amazing things are going to happen just after you get off this call. I promise you that. So now, step 3 is blueprinting your show. This is the one where everybody's kind of stuck on it. This is the one that nobody out there is teaching. So Mark and I talked about it, and we decided that this one, I'm actually going to be sharing with you 3 of the 5 points on how to do it, because if you know the 3 of the 5 points in this module alone, you're going to be amazing. Literally, you can take this and run with it right away. So,
Right.
The 3 things that you need to cover in this module are your authentic self, okay, and this your authentic style. That it's really figuring out who you are. And there is a process that we walk people through. The other, formatting of your show. I'm going to share this with you exactly, how to do this. And your most profitable product. You need to, in advance, figure out what are you going to be showcasing on your show so people know about you. What do you want to do? What aspect of your business do you really want to showcase? So that's one aspect that you need to know. And your most profitable audience. You need to know who it is that you're really attracting. And of course, your ideal guest experts. So I'm going to share some information with you on this, and make sure you got your pads and pencils ready, or your Word document open, or whatever you're taking notes with, because you're going to be needing this. Okay. So the first thing you want to decide is, are you going to be a solo host like Dr. Oz or Oprah, or are you going to be a co-host? You know, just one other person who you're interacting with wonderfully. And or the panel show is also another option. Now, all of these have their pros and cons, but if you're just starting out, I'm going to recommend that you start out with a co-host. Why? Well, for one thing, it's a lot more fun. It's easier when you have somebody else, you know, going back and forth, like Mark and I are doing right now. There's some different perspectives, different energy, and people relate to one or the other more. So this way, it's going to be a lot more fun for you. And of course, a lot more fun for your audience. The other thing is it makes production easier. It makes planning easier. You just have somebody else to bounce off ideas. Now,
by the way, I second that a lot. I mean, I started doing hangouts with Alex Mendoza, and we're partners. We do all the time. And what happens is they're just so much better because none of it's fake. You're not like talking to a camera. You're really talking to somebody else. I mean, even though you're trying to talk to the audience, but they're not there. You can't really talk to them all the time directly. Even if you bring them into the hangout, you can do that or something like that. But ultimately, having somebody else there to talk to and bounce things off, and they remember something you don't, and just it's a wonderful dynamic. So that's a really good point, Pam.
Yeah, it really is, and it gets to be a lot more fun. Like I said, it also helps with the production aspect of it too. So if you can't figure out who it is right now, just bring on the co-host of the week. Okay, so maybe have 6 or 8 different co-hosts, and then one of them is going to click. So you don't have to right away find who they are. Just make sure you have somebody else. Now, the other thing you want to make sure that you do is figure out what your show format is going to be. This is priceless. This is something you have to go to TV producers to get the information on, but I'm going to give you the overview of how to format a 30-minute show. Okay, ready, set? Okay, here we go. The first thing you want to do is start off with a 1-minute program intro. What is the show about? Okay, so people are interested in watching the rest of it. Maybe you can do interviews. We can do maybe 2 or 3 3-minute interviews. You can do a 9-minute interview, whatever you decide. Just conduct some interviews with some of the leading experts. They're going to be bringing other people. They're going to be bringing in their followers. Okay, so very, very important. Now, then you do a 30-second video clip. So this is crucial because this is a buffer between your segments, and also it will be a great way for you to talk about some of the things that you want to teach your audience, and also it's a great way to have sponsors. People don't want to watch 30-second commercials, but they love 30-second video tips, and sponsors will pay for that very gladly. Okay, so then you can do some kind of demonstration. It could be an exercise, it could be, let's say, a product demonstration, anything that something experiential that people can watch, or they can do it themselves, an exercise you can put them through. Okay, then you go to another 30-second video tip. Then maybe you can go to the top 10 questions. People love having their questions answered, so you can gather a lot of the information from your audience, and it's a great way for people to interact with you and for you to know what your audience is interested in. Okay, so right now we're asking you to post your comments and ask your questions. Well, we're going to be taking those comments and questions. We're going to be integrating them with our presentations going forward. So it's invaluable. It's a lot of added value for your audience and a lot of added value for you. It will give you a lot of great content for future shows. It's priceless, priceless. And then, of course, you do a 1-minute wrap-up. Now, there are all different ways of doing this during the program. We have like 7 different combinations that you can, it's a template you can actually choose from. But this is just for you to get started as to how to, produce a 30-minute show. Okay.
That is fantastic. What's really exciting about that, let me just give you a very quick example of that. Okay, so what she just explained to you as far as that important, matter of fact, I want to put that back up on the screen, and I'll put you as on the screen so you can see that list again. So what you're talking about here, just think about this, is that one of the we have a project called WebTV Talk, which is a web TV show about web TV, right? And so we have this idea to do this. So could you imagine at the 30-second video tip mark, literally we get somebody like, I don't know, Logitech, right, to sponsor a tip about how you can maximize your camera, or to have the higher quality camera shot, or whatever it is. Could you imagine them wanting to be paying to sponsor literally that video tip on Web TV Talk? Of course they would. So that's just a simple example just because we're talking about that subject. But whatever industry you're in, you can do the exact same thing. You can actually find somebody, or we can help you find somebody, whatever it is, to want to sponsor something that's directly related yet can be educational selling. In other words, it's something that they need to learn about anyway, and at the same time, it leads them right into a buying decision. So anyway, that's I just wanted to say that one thing about that. It's a good one.
Absolutely, and people love those. By the way, those of you who watch Dr. Oz, it's 1 hour of nonstop commercial. But the way he does it, we love it because he talks about things that we're interested in. Then he tells us where to get it. Now, here's the thing to really to keep in mind. People don't mind spending money. We don't mind spending money. We work to buy the things that we want, that are going to make us happy, healthy, help our family. So we want to spend money, right? That's what we're working for. We just don't want to make a bad decision. So having video tips is a great way to gain trust and share information. And especially, I love the way that Mark explained it, getting Logitech to give some tips. How cool is that? I think I want to contact Logitech today, Mark, since I'm recommending their products. So maybe we'll get some video tips from Logitech instead of DeVere. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. We can call tomorrow if you want.
There we go. Let's do it. So let's move on to the next one. And this is the one I'm going to actually go full screen with this because I want to explain to you how to get your ideal guests. Okay? This is the part where you really want to, pay attention. No. Your show will be a lot more fun, a lot more interesting, and a lot more powerful. You get a lot more audiences staying and coming back because you have great content. Well, how do you get that? Well, you bring in people that your audience is interested in. And how do you do that? Well, you think about who else does your audience need to be supported by to be successful. In this case, I decided to use an example of the wedding industry because everybody has knowledge of the wedding industry. Everybody's gotten married or knows somebody who's getting married. You know what I mean. Okay, so in this case, let's say the wedding industry. Who supports the bride and the groom on their wedding day? Well, to start off with, we have the wedding planner, of course, okay? And there's the videographer and a photographer. We have to document those precious moments. And the jeweler, it all starts with the beautiful ring to begin with, right? And the invitation vendor to get those guests there. And how about the limousine services to get the bride and groom there? And the reception halls, and of course the baker and the caterer to make it a memorable day. And the florist, you can't leave out the beautiful flowers. And of course the bridal shop that makes the bride look so beautiful. And definitely the travel agent. You got to have that honeymoon planned way in advance, right? So think about it. Who else is needed to support your audience? Now, all you have to do is look up and downstream. Like in my case, my clients are speakers, authors, coaches, and consultants who want to go global with their WebTV or they want to get on national TV. Well, who do they need to be supported by? Well, Mark is a perfect example. He's teaching thought leaders how to get out there. Well, that makes it very valuable for my people, right? So the next thing that we want to, any thoughts on this, Mark? Because I know that you're absolutely brilliant with this, making the connections.
Absolutely. Well, think about it. Actually, I'm going to leave it up on the screen. I'm not going to have my face. I want you to look at that screen again here. Just thinking, there's a lot of them that aren't being listed, but what you can easily do is you could easily have one interview per week with one of those. You could focus on wedding videography, right? Wedding jewelry, wedding, transportation, wedding, the honeymoon stuff with the travel. So literally, if you did one a week for 12 weeks, you wouldn't run out of people. There's a lot of them that aren't even on there, like tuxedo shops, things like that. The whole point is that you can literally do one a week for 12 weeks and then go back to the same thing and literally be talking about the latest honeymoon opportunities, right? The latest, bridal outfits and the latest floral arrangements and the latest bakery and things, whatever it is. And then you can create a whole, and I'm not saying you guys are in the wedding business, but you understand the concept. The whole point is that you can then bring a whole network behind those things to bring in money. I mean, there's so many money opportunities there, it's ridiculous, of course. Every one of these then, think about it. If a bridal shop has sold, maybe, I don't know, 1,000 people over their years of being, in the bridal shop business, they could actually send out to other people. They wouldn't be that necessarily, they could email them, they could send them a newsletter to them, they could do all kinds of neat things, and literally allow that same list to be available to you for your wedding industry show. Matter of fact, most of them would be tickled pink to share with everybody the fact that they were even a guest on your show. which means that it brought up their expertise and at the same time promoted your show. And that's part of the deal that you have to really make with them to make sure that all happens. And you could have different bridal shops and different travel agencies and different jewelers every quarter. You could do it more often if necessary, but the whole point is that the ability now to do two things: to have great guests, easy, you can see how easy that would be, right? Then you have viewers, right? It's easy to have the viewers because each one of these will bring in viewers from their own lists that they could easily send to your show. Then you obviously have the money opportunity, which each one of these wants to make money in the process of the wedding industry. So therefore, you can become the congregator of the lead source, or how you sway the wedding market's buying masses to lead towards them, because you're helping share with them the latest and greatest in the wedding industry. So it's really an amazing blueprint. It's really an amazing way of looking at how you can easily create a show. As you can see, this is something really profound, and you can work in any industry, business to business, business to consumer, or any other B2Bs or B2Is and B2Ms and all the other ones that they got. So that's what I just want to share, Ann.
Okay. Well, I want everybody to take a very close look at this and substitute the wedding industry with your industry. And as you're looking to take even a closer look, these are the same ones who will be your sponsors, okay? Hint, hint. And that comes down the road, but take a closer look, because this is where everybody wants to be, serving that same audience, and they will be happy to share with you. Okay, so let's move on to, and this is all, by the way, all of this isn't just in third step. This is only one half of the third step, okay? So
actually, with that, before you go into the fourth step, let me actually say one more thing, because it's really important. So a lot of you have been spending, in the last hour, it's actually 1 hour we've been on here so far, but I know you're getting a lot of great content. I know that you're seeing how this could be great for your business, your industry, your market, your niche. And I want you to remember that this isn't just about creating a web TV show, although it is. That's ultimately the biggest advantage you have, even if you simply, be the producer of it, right? Even if you're not the person who actually you have as the person who actually runs it. You could have one of your people run it. If you have a bigger organization, when you have one of your partners, you could even bring in somebody, right? You could still own this production, right? And still take advantage of this. You could take advantage of the fact that you could create one of the largest lists in your market through having a web TV show like this. You could take advantage of having the largest base of all the leading experts dying to work with you in your niche. Think about that. If you have that web TV show, just think about not only having the greatest list, the greatest expert base that wants to standing in line to be on your show, and then of course having a whole list of people who want to watch that show, because it's the place to be, it's the place to go, it's the place to find out all this great information, all the latest and greatest on your topic. And now you've got to create a situation where now it becomes the place to make a lot of money. And so what I want to tell you here is, regardless of where you're at, I want you to write down this URL. Okay, it's megahangout.com/web TV show. Okay, so whether you're interested in it or not, okay, that's going to take you to a form that asks you for your name, email, and phone number. You click the next page, and it's going to show you all of Ann's program that she normally puts out. And the reason I'm telling you about it right now, in case you have to go, I want you to have it there available. In the meantime, it'll help you to understand what we're doing a little bit in context. One other thing that's really important is this, is that normally Ann would charge you $25,000 to do something like this. She's willing to do that a lot less because we want you as partners. Okay? In the meantime, I want to talk to you at the end of this how you can get it absolutely for free. So if you stick around, you'll learn about that. In the meantime, I want to make sure we can follow up with you if you're at all interested in any facet of this web TV world. Because if you are, go to that link, which I just told you, which is megahangout.com/web TV show, and we'll make sure that we get back to you regarding what's going on here. But if you please stay to the end, because you can absolutely get this for free. I want to give it to you for free. And let me just tell you why, real quick, why I want to give it to you for free. Number one is that I sell money at 25 cents on a dollar. That's how I basically sell my money. I have my partners. I make them $100,000. They give me 25. Okay, it's a good exchange. They love it. I love it. It's a good deal. My virtual partners, who I just start off with, I usually even do better than that for them. I actually get them started at 10 cents on a dollar. So that means if they want to make 100,000, they pay me 10 grand. But anyway, that's how it works. So as you could imagine, if I can bring $100,000 in revenue to your show, I'm going to get 25 grand. Okay, if I can bring in a client who makes 100 grand on your show, I can make $25,000 in my pocket each time this happens. So is it easy for me to want to have you create a web TV show so that I can partner with you? Absolutely. So that's the kind of deal that I want to make with you. So therefore, I'm saying simply this: if you create a web TV show and you have Ann help you do that, then I will pay for your program. Plus, I'll do a lot more, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So anyway, and that being said, I'll also put a link down below so you guys know what that link is for that as well. So go ahead, Ann.
You know, Mark, I think this might be a good time for Barbara to share, like, because she was in season 1 of the program, so maybe you can share about some of the experience, because it's so much fun. We have a blast. So, Barbara, if you don't mind.
I would love to. You know, I have been through this entire program, all the 12 steps. I had my own fear getting involved. I didn't want to do it in the first place. It's like one of those. And I got encouraged to get on camera, so I bought a camera. And then I got encouraged to, get on a Google Hangout, and I did. And I was still uncomfortable and all that kind of stuff. And then I met Ann. And Ann has this great program, and I went, oh, that's so what I need. I need to learn how to show up on camera, look good on camera, speak in sound bites. How do I produce a show? What is it like? How do you format it? There were so many questions I had and so much that I needed to learn. And the great news is that Ann DeVere has it all laid out. It's easy to understand. And it's like step 1 through 12, just like she said. It makes it fun. It makes it not hard, and I think the community and the camaraderie that you'll develop between all the other people that are involved is so much fun. And we have a common goal, I believe. I think all of us inside of us know that we're here with a purpose, and we have change that we need to affect in the world. That's what thought leaders are all about, and anybody who's communicating with masses has an opportunity to help change the world for the better. So I am so inspired to get out there and get my show up and running. I'm so excited about that. I do have my title. It's From Passion to Purpose to Profits. And I'm excited and thrilled to be doing the show, and I couldn't even think about doing any of it if I hadn't stepped up and gotten into this training with Ann. And I just want to encourage you to, if you have a message, you need to get out there. You need to step up. You need to step into your greatness and get going and help us. We want to change the world for the better. You can do it too. Thanks.
Thank you, Barbara. No, it really is a fun program, and you'll see in just a second. It's very interactive. It's fun, and we actually have experts that come on for all of the different modules. It's just amazing. As a matter of fact, Mark will be teaching with us on the first module. He will be a guest expert on positioning, and if somebody knows how to position yourself, it's Mark. Trust me.
Right.
He shares some amazing information. But I'll show you in just a minute how the program works. It's very interactive, very fun. It's very exciting, and people love it. And that's what show business. It has to be fun. So maybe you don't see yourself in show business, but fact is, if we're stepping up, we are on web TV. We become one of the in crowd. We become one of the people, who's on television. And you know what? Once you get over the initial, ooh, what does that feel like? You actually enjoy it. And believe me, there's a huge difference in the way Barbara is showing up on camera now. When she did it first, it was like, oh, what am I doing? And there was that hesitation. And now I think you can see the excitement. And what a shift. And it happens actually very quickly. Very, very quickly. But anyways, let's just move on because we have a lot more great information to share here.
I gotta say one thing about that. You know what? She was good before, okay, and her smile was always there. Okay, but you know what? Now she's like even so much better because she went through that program, and it affected every aspect of her business with that. So that was I was really impressed with how, because I saw the before and the after, because she kind of came on one of my hangouts, and then she eventually joined your program, and then when I saw, it's just an amazing transformation. Beautiful stuff.
It's night and day. Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you for that, Mark. So now let's just move on because. Now we're on step 4. Step 4 out of 12. Well, this one is deciding what your message should be, okay? And there are like 9 touch points. These are like 9 emotional places where you want to interact with your audience to get the message across. So touch point number 1 is grab their attention. Touch point number 2 is shake their confidence. Touch point number 3 is build their confidence. And there are 6 others. But just to show you how easy this works, and you already have the knowledge, just showing you what they are. Now the question, are you paying too much for your insurance? That's touch point number 1 and touch point number 2 combined, because that just grabs people's attention, and right away it makes them wonder, am I making the best possible decision? Once you ask a question, the mind already has to answer. It's just the way it's built. So right away you're grabbing their attention and shaking their confidence in what they're doing. And if you notice, every TV newscast, every TV show, they start off with a hook. So this is part of it. You learn how to think about what you're saying, what you're doing from a whole new perspective. And if some of you are already familiar with this, it's probably because you know marketing. The fundamentals of marketing apply to every aspect of communication, including web TV, including any kinds of TV, including any kinds of interaction, whether in person or on video or on audio. So a lot of this you already know. What we're doing here is basically repackaging how it's presented. So that makes it so much easier, because if you have the information, we show you how to make it all work. It's like having all these different ingredients in your cupboard and somebody showing you how to make the most delicious cake. It's that simple. It's like, you have every ingredient, here's how you mix it, and here's how long you bake it. Amazing, right? It's that simple. It really is. So let's move on to step number 5. And this is where you really understand the formula. Whether it's a 30-second commercial or a 60-minute show, there are 3 components. The hook. You have to grab their attention and have them wanting more at the beginning of the show. The body. This is to gain their trust. You need to know how to put it all together, what kind of information that you need to deliver. And this is about 90% of your content, by the way. What information do you deliver? It's the same information that got Mark on top and kept him there, for his interview for 4 years now. It was the information he was delivering in the way he was delivering it that had a lot to do with it. And of course, your call to action. So this is where you give a compelling reason for your audience to take the next indicated step for them to help themselves. Whether it's for them to go take an assessment so they understand better and you can help them more how to manage, let's say, their finances or their health or whatever it is. When they start taking a personal assessment, it makes a huge difference. Guess what? When they take a personal assessment, it helps you as well, because you gain their confidence. So when you know how to structure the call to action so it helps your audience as well as yourself, amazing things happen. So this is a big part of what you'll be learning. And then we go to how to make the camera love you. And that's exactly what happened to Barbara. She was already lovable, but now the camera loves her. So some of that, it's all about dressing for success. A lot of people have questions. What do I wear? Well, there are some colors you actually wear, and some things you need to stay away from, and like the plague, because the camera doesn't love it. And there's the body language. It's about you being comfortable and confident, and so you come across in a powerful way on camera. Well, there are some things that you are really locked into do, because you only have so much space, especially if you're doing a talk show, and how do you manage that? And of course the vocals. A lot of people have, oh, I don't sound good. Well, you know what? Knowing how to get into your natural voice and feeling comfortable with it is the key. And this is something you will easily learn as well. And of course, makeup. We have a lot of makeup questions, and the easiest way I can tell you is go to the MAC counter and let them put on your makeup, and don't worry about their blue and green hair. They actually they know what they're doing. But you don't have to buy their all of their makeup that they're using. You can actually buy 1 or 2 out of courtesy, but do go, because they will help you. Or go to any other makeup counter, and then you can buy it at any store. But in the program, we actually have a Hollywood makeup artist step by step showing you how to apply your makeup. Again, you have the tools, somebody shows you how to use it, it's going to be amazing. So you will look absolutely fabulous, and the camera will love you in this segment alone. So far we've gone through steps 1 through 6 just to get ready because
One
that's
little thing here, Ann.
yeah.
You may want to adjust the microphone a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but it's just every so on it kind of falls out of place there. But one thing I'd like to say is, so everything that you're realizing, we're at step 6. We're like half the way through, okay? Which means there's a lot of things that have to be done. They're not hard, but you see, it could take you tens of thousands of dollars, okay, months or years of time to get even rudimentary knowledge about each one of the ones we've already discussed, let alone the next 6. And so what I'm suggesting to you is that really, while Ann can't really go into what would normally be a 90-day, training on how to do all this stuff, the fact is you're learning everything that needs to be done and done right to have a successful, world-class web TV show. And each one of these things is perfect. She's brought in Hollywood makeup experts. She's brought in everybody in one place to make this all work because we want to make this successful. We want to create partners who have the web TV shows that really dominate the media landscape over the next decade. So, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so now we're on to number 2. That's, factor number 2 is get on the set. So what are you going to get on the set? Well, it's all about shooting your interviews, knowing how to use your camera. It's knowing about how to broadcast on Google Hangouts and knowing how to edit your videos. Of course, you don't have to do all this yourself. You can hire professionals. But knowing what it takes to edit a video is going to save you a lot of time and money because you will know how to instruct your editors, okay? So knowing how to give good instructions is crucial, and knowing how, learning yourself is the first step. So you will know exactly what to do. And of course, here's the big bonus training I told you about. Now, if all of you haven't been, putting your comments there, you're going to miss out on a bonus. So ask your questions. We're going to go back in there. We're going to answer each and every one of it. It's very important information for us. Remember. So we're teaching you as we're teaching you. So the home studio, basically, you're going to get the training on. It's a video training on what to use for broadcasting. Of course, the webcam, headset, backdrop, and the headsets usually work a lot better than the one that's working right now. Okay, and of course the lights. You'll know exactly what to use, and this will get you started. So if you think about it, so far I have showed you how to format your show. At the end of this program, you can actually go out there and start formatting your show, and with this information you will know what camera to buy, so you will get started. The rest of the information that we're sharing you is going to make sure that you turn your show into cash, that you have the connection, that you really know what you're doing. Every aspect of this needs to be there, and your mindset has to be in place. The way you connect with people has to be in place, and of course the monetization needs to be in place, and that's what we'll be supporting you with. Factor 3 is all about getting paid. Now,
okay, before you go there, just one little quick note. Things not working again, but even though you pay $300 for your mic, it didn't work.
yes.
So we're having trouble there. But here's the thing. I wanted to say a couple of this because some of my clients I know will be thinking this based on what you just said. And they know in order to have a real professional web TV show where it literally has the multiple cameras and a lot of the things that they're going to want in some of their shows, you're talking, you could do for $5,000. I mean, some of my, colleagues like Mike Koenig, he's got probably, $250,000 for the stuff it is. But regardless of that, the fact is that you can start as low as $300, and you can get started really easy. And as Ann earlier said, you can easily move up from there. The thing is, don't let that get you stopping from getting going, even if the $300 studio is the one you're going to get started with, because you can start with that, and you can do just fine with it. At the same time, there's a lot of bells, a lot of whistles, a lot of money opportunities, a lot of neat things as well as sophistication things. But you see, the most important thing in this whole thing is to become the first one in your market to create a web TV show. And I'm telling you this for one reason. If you're not the first one, you're going to be not the first one. And yet, how long do you think that's going to last? That's going to last forever. Okay, you'll never have the first chance or the chance to be first in web TV in your niche again. It's impossible, right? So we have to have you being the first, and if that means only spending a couple $100, $300 on having us, get it done, make it happen, get it out there, because then you can be the leader in web TV in your niche because you're the only one there first, and then eventually stay the leader and grow and then make it better and better and better. So that's really important that you remember that. So go ahead, Ann.
No, absolutely. Even starting with this, using the information that we're sharing with you, you're going to be a lot better off than 90% of the people who are on Google Hangouts right now. So
Yep.
you're going to be recognized. So like Mark said, just don't let money stop you. Just get out there now and get in there. Get your feet wet. Okay, so factor 3 is all about getting paid, and this is step 8. This is where you look at your business as, a business. Your show is your business. I want you to get that. It's a business. It's a very powerful leveraging tool. You can talk about every aspect of your business, all the products and services on your show, but you need to know how you're going to monetize it. Every TV show that goes out there, before they even shoot, the first episode, they have all the figures in there, how much money they're going to make, how many viewers do they need, how many sponsors do they need. Every aspect of it is calculated. That's just for one TV show. Always. That's how they can pay the millions of dollars to their actors. Well, you need to look at your show the same way. So if you want to have a show, it's like everybody says, I want to make $1 million. That's wonderful. How are you going to do that? That's a big question. So we've actually even made it easier for you in this one because, most of my clients, the speakers, authors, coaches, consultants, they're here to transform the world, and then most of them are on mission. They don't want to slow down to do the calculations, but this is something you should know. If you're going to be launching your show, you should have an idea, well, how much money do you want to make? We've actually put together the whole thing where, for sponsorship dollars, if you want to make 100,000 in sponsorship dollars, or from your membership side, or just from the products you're going to be showcasing. Well, how many leads do you need to make that? How much should you charge, and what should your profit margin be? These are 3 of the 7 numbers that you look at. Again, we have an Excel spreadsheet already ready for you just to go in there and look at it. Calculate.
Okay, and one real quick thing. This is really an important element, and she says it's an Excel spreadsheet, but it's a lot more than that. I think they had a nuclear physicist create this thing. I've seen it. Okay, and it actually helps you really understand how to analyze your business and how you're going to really make money with it. But anyway, more importantly is that, as a matter of fact, we have a question coming up I'm going to bring up in a second. Bruce Clinton asked an interesting question, so I'll let you think about that while I'm actually saying something. And he asked exactly, what does it cost you for the first year to kind of put this web TV show out? What's the kind of like the base cost that you're going to have to come up with for the year? So I'll let you answer that in 1 second. But other than that, see, Ann is going to help you know the key numbers to look at. Okay, I was on the phone this morning with a guy who because I helped him out with some things, he wanted to coach me. He was one of the guys who could help get people into events, and the guy's done 60,000 people a month coming through 600 events on 6 continents. Okay, and it's amazing what he's been able to do. But he decided to do that for me because I helped him out. In the meantime, one of the things he was telling me, so I was expecting him to give me all these really interesting strategies. And he says, Mark, I'm now going to give you the secret sauce. And basically what he said was, it's knowing these numbers. That's it. And I was like, you're kidding me. And he showed me what the numbers were. They'd be easy to calculate. Okay, it's not rocket scientist, but when you know these numbers, you compare against what you've done before, compare it against different media opportunities, different ways, and all this other stuff. Bottom line is, knowing the marketing math, okay, is 90% of it. The 10% is actually just doing it, plugging in and making it happen. So you need to know that. That's so important what this is, and that'll help you make all the money you need. And the other side of it is creating the partnerships, creating the sponsors, creating the relationships with people who are going to be experts, guests, team members, as well as viewers that really help you make this a successful TV show. And that's, of course, where all the money is. So go ahead, Ann.
Yeah. So great point, Mark, as always. So the short answer to the question is you can literally get started with $1,000. And I know that's, you're saying, wait a minute, $1,000? I asked about a year. Well, guess what? In the program, we also show you how to get sponsorship dollars even before you have your audience. Because when you put a plan together, you are putting together a marketing plan as well. So, just like when you go to a bank to get a loan, you have to show them exactly how you're going to be using the money. You're going to be showing how you're going to be marketing it, how are you going to be making the money, how you're going to be paying them back. Well, guess what? When you're using a business growth calculator, you have figured out, well, to make $100,000, I need about, let's say, 5,000 new leads a month of this particular kind of client. And then, this is how I'm going to be marketing. This is what I'm going to be doing. And you go up to somebody and say, hey, here's my plan. This is what I'm going to do. Do you want to invest 1,000, 2,000, 3,000? They will say right away. But in the program, we have actually showed all kinds of ways to get started with literally even before you have your first guest. And one of the questions is like, hey, Mark, can I send you 5,000 new leads a month?
Let me think about that for a minute. Actually, make it about a second. Yes.
Well, it could be that simple, because when you know what you're going to do, and again, it's part of the calculation. So here we go, your marketing blueprint, reading right into it. So you put a plan together. How are you going to get maximum exposure for maximum profit? You think, you have to put together what kind of social media marketing are you going to do. It's based on who you are and what you do, and it has to resonate with you. And I always say I've never said anything with 140 characters in my life, and I'm not going to start now. So Twitter probably is not the best place for me to invest my time. I love LinkedIn. I love Facebook. So what do you love? I know a lot of people are doing great on Twitter. So it's about you making your own personal marketing plan, just like any business. Remember, this is a business. And repurposing your content. You have so much great knowledge already, whether you have PDFs or papers you have written, maybe some audiobooks you have, maybe regular books. There's so many things that you already have, because you didn't go into business today. You have a lot of knowledge. So there's all kinds of ways of using what you already have, and having a plan for it is the key. Where do you start? And of course, you need to get some help. And well, fortunately, virtual assistants are available, and at very, very affordable prices if you don't have, a team already. So if you're a solopreneur, don't worry about it. You have available help for very little money, and we're actually putting together a whole team on video production as we speak, and Mark said the same thing. We're putting together a whole production team. We're building the foundation because we need you. We need great content, okay? You get this, right? So we're putting everything in place for you to know exactly what to do and how to do it. And this is where co-op marketing comes into play. This is where everybody works together. Your sponsors, affiliates, and joint venture partners. You need to know the difference between all of them. You know that circle that I showed you, your ideal guest experts earlier? Well, your ideal sponsors, affiliate, and joint venture partners are in there. Knowing who they are, how to identify the right one, and how to approach them is the key. And it all depends on your relationship. And Mark is absolutely brilliant at that. And we're putting all kinds of sponsorship opportunities together as well between us. So there's so much support that you don't have to worry about it, because you will know exactly what to say and how to approach them. Or sometimes you don't even have to approach them, because we have people waiting for you.
Let me say something about that real quick. Actually, I'm going to keep that little thing, instead of having me up here, I'm going to keep that up on the screen. If you think about this, there's a couple. This is another way that I want to give you this at no cost, because here's the thing. You may be thinking, man, Ann must be planning on charging me, tens of thousands of dollars for all this stuff. But the fact is, it's not going to cost you anything. It's going to make you a boatload of money, and here's why: because of the slide that's on the screen right now. Step 10. Ultimately, this is really what it comes down to. Every Monday morning, I have dozens, if not hundreds, of clients of mine who have hundreds of thousands of people on their Facebook. They have lists of 500,000 or more, okay, and they're trying to figure out, what do they send these people today to keep them engaged with their list, excited about their existence of being on their newsletters, being on their Facebook page, and just as importantly, how do I make money with them? See, that's what they're saying every Monday morning. And you see, I want to be able to say to them, hey, I got this great show that I want you to share with your list. Okay? So picture that. That's what I want to do. Now, those people, those 500,000, million, whatever the numbers are, that are going to go to your show, can't go there if the show doesn't exist. That's the first problem, right? But if you create first a show, and then I'll say a show that's worthy of devotion, worthy for me to send my people to, then I will send them to you. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm excited about. But there's only one more thing. There's two parts. The first part is to make sure that you have a show that's well done, well put together, like Ann will show you how to do. The second part is to actually have a way to convert people who come there to being some kind of sale, which is in your marketing plan, which is also in this co-op marketing plan. Ultimately, what that means is I want to be able to bring you sponsors. I want to be able to bring you affiliates. I want to be able to bring you joint venture partners who will not only be experts on your show, but who will also promote your show to their lists and will also help you make money with their products, with your products, with third-party people's products, and simply put, we want to help you make money. But there's two key prerequisites. Ultimately, you have to have a great show that I feel comfortable sharing my, think about it. I got somebody with 500,000 people on their list, right? And I give them your show to send out. And all of a sudden, it's a schlocky show, okay? Do you think that they'll want to ever send for me again? No, that's the answer. They won't want to. Now they may forgive me a few times or whatever it is because we have great relationships with all my partners. But the fact is, they know that I'll never do that. That's why they will send for me. That's why they'll promote for me and all that. So I want to be able to do this for you, and that's why I want to give you this free, because I make money when you make money, and therefore this is a no-brainer for you to get involved with. One other thing that's important here is also, even if they didn't send it, nobody opts out, nobody says that was schlocky or whatever. The fact is, when they have 500,000 people they can send to, they can create a situation that they will be able to make money every time they send, and a lot of money, which means you have to know how they're going to make money, verify that they're going to be able to make money, and have that properly orchestrated in the plan and executed. And between Ann and I, we'll help you make sure that happens. But you've got to create a show, a world-class show in your market, and then we can help you do this. In fact, anybody who joins us, I will not only help you do this and pay for it so we can partner together. The fact is, I'll also create a situation where you can come to the Joint Venture Summit at no charge. I put on the premier event for profitable strategic partnering. You can look it up, jointventuresummit.com if you want. Bottom line is that the greatest people in the partnering industry, this is where they go. This is where they meet. This is where they do deals. And the thing is, I want to be able to bring you into that. And you can come to the next one. You can come to, and we want to bring you into our strategic partner mastermind. So this is what it's all about, and I want you to realize that this is where we're going with this. So, Ann, I just wanted to say a couple words about that, so go ahead.
Okay, well said. Okay, and now we're on step 11, which is multi-channel publicity. Right now, you are rubbing elbows with the media. Social media and web TV have literally leveled the playing field for all of us. Every day, you have TV producers, you have bloggers, you have reporters interacting with you. You don't even know it. The only time you know it is when they see something worthy of talking about. They will contact you. It's just like they contacted me. I didn't know them. They found me, on Facebook, found me, and sent me a message. Over 200 million viewers we have access to now because I put my content out there. Okay, so what I'm saying is that it's amazing what you have there. It's like they're in stealth mode. And as soon as you put something that's valuable in great content and you look professional, they come out of the woodwork. Seriously. So whether it's mobile marketing, internet, TV, social networks, video, radio, newspapers, magazines, they're all out there for the taking, and you will know exactly what to do. And that's also, we're growing our network with that as well. So finally, step 12 is you're on the air. You go out there with your show and you keep doing the same thing over and over again, getting your guest experts and getting your sponsor and creating better shows. And those are the 12 steps. That's the trifactor of turn your show into cash system. So now I think we should tell them how the show works. What do you think, Mark?
I think that's a good idea, and remember this, okay? You can kind of follow along if you want to by going to megahangout.com/WebTV show. All lowercase, one word, WebTV show. So megahangout.com, and I put a link down there. If you actually go on the comments below and go reverse chronological order, you should see a link there that says megahangout.com/WebTV show in a new browser. and you should be able to see that, and that'll show you everything that's in Ann's program that you would normally, if she was working with you one-on-one, would have to pay $25,000 for. It's not even, 1/10 of that, or it's less. It's ridiculous what we're talking about here when you see the amount that she's going to ask you to invest in this. But the fact is, because that's not where the money is. But at the same time, there are costs, and it is a lot of work to put this together. And her and I are only interested in working with serious people, as you can imagine. I don't have time to help people figure out, okay, what's a computer and what's, we have to find, what's a camera and all this. But Ann walks everybody through this so that you can know how to do everything and do it not only in the base level, but literally at the world-class, we'll call it digital Hollywood level, where you can literally create the web TV show of your dreams. So watch what is in this program, and it will in what we're asking you to invest. Now, the reason why I'm asking, even though she's asking you to invest, is when you create the show, I'm going to bring in partners for you. I'm going to get my cut like I normally do, but the first monies are going to go to you to pay for the show. That's how we're going to pay you to do the show for free. So watch what you see right now. Go.
Okay. So, well, being in the web TV business, I watch and I study, and one of the things that I loved was The Apprentice. Watching that 1-hour show, I got so many great ideas, but something about it bothered me. I was like, this is really good. I'm getting great ideas, but I would love to be in that room when they have that masterminding going on. What are they saying? What are those ideas they're coming up with? If you've been in a mastermind, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I wanted to know, what are they saying on those phone calls when they're getting those huge $100,000 donations? Well, I decided that I'm going to implement it in my training because it's so valuable. The easiest, fastest, the most powerful way to learn how to do something is to do it yourself. The second most powerful is to watch somebody else do it step by step. So turn your show into cash. You actually get to watch 10 people, our cast members in training, our show host in training. They are walking through the whole process step by step, all 12 modules. It's a 12-week program. So each week they actually go through one module, and next week, the following module, as you get to watch what they do. So let me tell you more about that.
Hold on. Let me say one thing real quick, and that is this. Picture this. So normally, Ann would have to charge you $25,000 to walk you through this. She does 10 people at a time to make it a lot more reasonable for those key people. But she does even something more, which is to allow you to simply participate by watching and getting the same content that they're getting, albeit separate from the one-on-one activities, which means you can, for a fraction of the cost, get trained on how to do this. And this is really it's really that powerful. Go ahead.
Yeah, you get the same tools, same training, same everything as the show host, in training on the show. Every Thursday you get a new module. And by the way, this whole thing is designed for the busy professional. I'm a busy professional. Everybody who comes to us is a busy person. They're good at what they do. So everything is designed that most of the work you can do maybe like in an hour to 2 hours. You can actually watch the video and use the accompanying handout or whatever tool that is there for that particular module, and you can kind of follow along and complete it right away. A couple of them maybe it may take a day or so, because like the scripting module, you may want to write and go back, but everything is designed to work fast. So you have from Thursday until the following Tuesday to actually work on your own, watch the videos and do the work. And on Tuesday, we have live training. We go live, and here's what happens. 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, the show hosting training, they go into their mastermind sessions, just like you see them, on The Apprentice. The two groups go into the mastermind sessions. Each person will present what they have done for that module, and they get feedback from the other 4 people. Now, here's the good part. You get to watch this. You get to watch and everything that they're doing. You can choose to follow one who's in your industry and do what they do, or you can get ideas from all 10 of them. It's up to you totally what you want to do. So you watch the mastermind session, you tweak what you have done on your own. You make adjustments based on the great ideas you're hearing. Then, from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we have an expert panel discussion. Now, this is where for each one of the modules that we're focusing on that week, we have experts in there. Like, for example, let's say make the camera love you module. We have somebody who will show you, how to do vocal exercises and how to dress. We have image consultant, or so you learn how to make the camera love you, and we're literally having a discussion on it and all the different aspects of it. So you get to watch, as well as the show hosts in training also get to watch this in a members area. So it's 1 hour of a show watching that. Then, this is the fun part too, from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, this is Pacific time, we have what I call the spotlight sets. This is where the 10 members join the experts, the expert panel, and each one of them has 5 minutes to ask a question and get direct feedback, like a laser strategy session from one or all of the experts, depending on what the question is. Now, as you're watching this, so I want you to get the power of this. First, you work on your own to the best of your ability, complete everything, and it's very, very well thought out program, very easy to follow.
Actually, before you do the recap on that, because I want them to hear the power of that, but I want them to think about one thing before they do this. Just think, all the 12 steps we went to, Ann has created a whole program, really, a series of trainings and experts and tools, and bringing together the best people in the world at each of these 12 things we just got done talking about. So what you see right now on the screen in a second here, actually I'll put that back up, okay, is for each of the 12 things, which means you're going to get every Thursday one of these new trainings that goes through over one of those 12 areas. You're going to go in deep how to actually get it done, how to make it happen for yourself. The same training that people who are actually going one-on-one with her. And then these other things are going to happen for each one of them. So go ahead, Ann.
Yeah, so you literally, like I said, you work on your own, and then you watch the mastermind session that's going on. So you adjust accordingly. Then you listen to the expert panel, and you adjust accordingly, get some new ideas, implement new ideas. And then you watch the laser coaching that's going on. And now, if you've ever been at a live seminar and you've had one or two people that you've seen on stage who have gone through, laser coaching, you know how powerful that is. In real time, amazing things happen. Well, each week you get to watch 10 of them on a particular topic by the best experts in the industry. We'll have anywhere from 2 to 3 experts in a particular topic coming on each week to do this. So it's amazing what happens. By the time the week is done on that particular module, you have gone through the whole thing, fine-tune the process, you know exactly what to do. You are fully immersed, and you own it. And that's the whole thing about this. You internalize it, you're doing the work, you're seeing others do it, and by the time the week is over, you are complete in that module and you're ready to move on to the next one. This program is designed for you to be producing your pilot in Module 7. So week 7, you're going to be producing your pilot. That means you're going to be having a video that's ready to be marketed. You're going to have your show that you can actually take to sponsors. Say, here's the show, here's the plan, here's what I'm going to be doing. So all of this can be done very easily and simply with support. And of course, we have a whole community. You have access to private areas. You get access to the Global Visibility Association with all kinds of support. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. Everything is designed to make you the show host that you are meant to be, because we need you. Remember, we need some great shows to get out there. And by the way, again, Mark said this point in time will never be repeated again, because people are learning about this. Like I said, we were invited to present at the Digital Hollywood Conference because we are the premier trainers in this, because we have figured out how to take traditional television training and use it for web TV. What I'm using right now, the screen that I'm using, what I'm going, switching between screens, I'm doing this on your own, on my own. And traditional television, it would take a crew of maybe 4 or 5 people at least to do this. We show you how to do this for fraction, a tiny fraction of one, what it would cost for one program that you would get out there, because we have fine-tuned this whole process. Like, you would not be left behind even if you tried.
So if any of you are interested in actually, or at all, in this web TV opportunity, you need to go to megahangout.com/web TV show. And whether you're interested or whether you want to join it or whatever the case may be, and the details are all there. We're going to be going through some more details right now, but I just want you to remember that do not forget to do that, because if you at all want to participate in anything regarding this, that's the way to do that, because we'll make sure that we follow up with you to make sure that if you need a strategy session with us to see how this fits for your industry or your business, or to see how you can make it happen, what kind of opportunities. I saw one of the questions there from one of the participants was, do you need a list to get started to do this? And absolutely not, but it's one of the biggest opportunities to create huge lists you can ever imagine, because literally everybody will want to send their people to your show, especially when those people are these experts who have huge lists, who want to share with their list that they're on your show, especially if your show is in an industry or a niche that they want to be known as serving. It's a wonderful opportunity, and we can kind of go more to that later. But go to megahangout.com/WebTV show, and you'll see more about what we're talking about. And remember, if you create a show, okay, I will bring the partners to the show for you, and out of the first monies, I pay you back your investment in the show. And we'll talk more about what is included in this program right now. Go ahead.
And again, well, I just wanted to right now make sure you understand we have the distribution channels waiting for you too. So create your show. So you don't need a list. We have it. There we go. So what I want to do is I want to kind of break it down so you understand what's in front of you right now. Because if you were to really go out there and decide you're going to do a web TV show on your own, you would need to get the support of many different kinds of experts to be able to pull it off. Because nobody is out there is putting everything into one training like we are. Because remember, we've been doing this for many years. We've been working with the experts next door for many years. So we have put together the whole package. Now, if you were to go out there on your own, I just want to put things in perspective, and I'm being, really lowballing all of this. So to go out there and go through training so you would actually be able to, step into your, show business self, if you will, and want to step in front of the camera, $500 to $1,000 easy for a training. Media training itself, you pay anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 to tens of thousands of dollars if you, depending on who you go to. Remember, everything is relevant. I have put the minimal amounts that's there. Your script, if you want to learn how to do script writing, $1,000 to $20,000 depending on who you go to. Again, if you have a script writer do it for you, definitely you're going way up there. But this is something you need to know how to do ongoing on your own. So you are producing your own show. You don't have to hire a script writer for everything that you do. Huge. And get on the set producing your show. Now, setting up your home studio, if you were to get somebody else to do it, $1,000 to $2,000 easy just for the setup. But we show you how to do it. We tell you how to buy the equipment and step-by-step directions on how to use the equipment as well. So that's included in there. Now, producing your video, you'll know how to use the different kinds of broadcasting platforms. You'll know all kinds of things about editing your video. So you see, $2,000 to $10,000 on producing your video. Well, you're going to know how to do it with some very powerful and simple tools. And you're going to know how to get the help you need, so you know how to speak with the production team. It's, remember, it's a whole different way of speaking. There is a language that needs to be communicated clearly. So everything is done in a way that, it's done quick, fast, and easy, but in a very, very professional way. Then factor 3, to get paid. Now, turning your show into cash, this is your business plan. Anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000. I know that for a fact because I charge $5,000 to create a blueprint. But if I have to do anything more, it's $25,000. That's about the industry average. So go to any business consultant and ask them to put together a business plan. Well, you need a business plan for your show, and we give you that. And multi-channel publicity, this whole thing, is based on you getting exposure out there, right? If you were to hire a publicist, you would pay him $500 to $2,000 a month. Social media manager, and $500 to $2,000 a month, whatever it is. So that in itself, you will learn because you become a part of a community that's going to support you. So if you know what to do, the community is going to support you. And of course, the co-op marketing, that's priceless. I couldn't even put a price on it because you will have a whole community of people who are trained on how to be powerful show hosts and guest experts. So you can literally be interviewing people that you feel comfortable and confident with, and they will be asking you, and you will be getting the broadcasting opportunities to get out there between my support and what Mark has already planned for you. So this is a huge opportunity. And by the way, all of this, I took the minimum startup amount, by the way, when I added this up. is you would need at least $12,500 to get started, and that's actually a drop in a bucket for the potential and what you will be getting for having your own web TV show and for getting sponsors. Well, because we want you, we want to make sure you get in there and start, learning how to create your web TV show. We're charging only $497.
Did you guys hear that? Okay.
It's
Okay.
not my mic. It's not my mic this time.
I mean, seriously, and the reason why it's so inexpensive, of course, is because we are going to be making a lot of money together. Okay, and but at the same time, we can't make any money with you unless you have a show done right, done professionally, and also packaged professionally, so that people want to pay to participate. That's really what we need, and then we can run. As a matter of fact, like I said, I mean, another value. I mean, I charge nearly $2,000, $1,500, $1,200 minimum to be a VIP at the Joint Venture Summit. I'm giving you free tickets to my summit, so which means that's in addition to that. Plus, as soon as we do one deal by bringing in partners for you, I'm paying for this for you. So this is really a no-brainer. Even if you didn't get this, you should get this. I mean, this is one of those, This is one of those, okay, guys, we got to get moving here. And you know what? It's okay if you don't want to have Ann help you do it. But you know what the thing is? I think that's a big mistake, because think about all the value in all 12 areas of this, that she's put all the time, money, effort, blood, sweat, and tears, gathering all these people to get this thing done, and it really doesn't cost that much, and I'm willing to pay for it after we get our first deal for you. So in order to participate, you have to go to megahangout.com/web TV show. Put your name, email, and phone number address in. You'll go to a page that explains everything you just saw that you went through there, and then you can just fill out the form and get started. And maybe you have more to talk about. And so I just wanted to tell you that, because that's where it's at. By the way, how it works with me simply is this. I usually charge 25 cents on a dollar, which means if you want $100,000 from partners and their clients, I will bring that to you, and you pay me 25 grand. That's basically how it works, which is a good deal for both of us. And at the same time, for this though, it's only 10%, which means that's how we get started. So for these kind of deals, because there's a lot of transactions going on for this kind of deal. I can easily get you into a lot of places. I can get a lot of experts into you that can make money with you. I can get a lot of people to promote you. I can get a lot of neat things happening here. And this is a good starter way for us to work together. And I'll do that for 10 cents on a dollar. So let's pretend like we make $10,000. And you would normally pay me $1,000. Well, out of that, I'm going to take the first $497 and give it back to you, okay, which means I'm only getting whatever, $500, and you're going to get the $9,500, because that's how I want this to be. I want you to get paid for creating your web TV show, because you really deserve it, because that's how we're going to make money together. And you can see the value, you can see what's going on here, you can see the quality, you can see what's going on here, and even if I didn't do that, this would be the greatest thing you could ever do. So don't delay. Go ahead.
No, that's an awesome deal, and Mark has some amazing connections. But just to make sure that if, you're not confused, you can sign up for the program and learn on your own before you work together, with Mark on this. So you can actually sign up for the program if you're still like, oh my God, I can't move that fast. Well, it's okay for you to get comfortably in front of the camera, because I know some people that it's like, well, let me just. Yeah, I can do this first. You can sign up for the program, and you will know right away, with the opportunities. Mark and I have been working together for a while. We're going to continue working together. So you have the opportunity in front of you. We just want you to know that it's right there waiting for you. As soon as you're willing to step up and create a deal, we're both ready to get you out there. So. I don't know what else I can tell you. Go.
Well, one thing I was going to say is go to megahangout.com. This is one of the last times. I got it on the site below us here at megahangout.com/webtv/live. That's the page you're on. In case you're watching this on the internet and there's no link there, go to megahangout.com/webtv/live. Or if you just want to get more information, set up a strategy session to see how this could work, to know what the scoop is, or ask questions, things like that. Or if you want to simply just start participating, which I strongly suggest you be doing, because we're starting pretty soon in this last class that we're doing here like this. I want to make sure that you understand that you need to get going right now, because it's megahangout.com/webtv/live. megahangout.com/WebTV show. And that'll take you to where you need to go to get started with this. So that being said, by the way, Barbara, thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. And Anne, thank you very much for everything. You were truly brilliant today, as usual. And I just want to thank you for giving us some great content about this really important subject. Great information about what people need to do to take advantage of this opportunity. And I just want to leave you with some final words on my side. I know you guys, you have a message. You and your message, you want to get this thing out to the world. You want to change lives. You want to help clients and prospects. Maybe those clients and prospects are simply just the general public. Maybe it's a nonprofit pursuit. Maybe it's in the health and wellness business. Maybe it's parents. Maybe it's whatever it is. The fact is you can create a web TV show immediately and make great things happen in the world by creating this and making this happen. Now is the time. There's never going to be another chance to be the first person to do this. Okay, I can tell you from everything, you will not find a bigger trend than web TV. I don't, in business or in media for sure. There isn't a bigger trend. That's why video is huge. I mean, that completely changed everything. But web TV is we call it the it, right? It's literally the more important than anything else going on. You've seen it happen in every media form out there. Okay, you've seen it happen with radio, and they're losing people. You've seen it happen with the newspapers going out of business because everybody's going online to get their stuff. You're seeing it on TV where the viewers are going to watch what they want to watch on the web. That's why web TV is so big. It's just a matter of time before literally you can watch whatever you want, whenever you want to watch it, in whatever small segment you're at. And the thing is, now's the time to be the first, the leader, and to be the most trusted advisor to your people in the best modality possible, which is web TV. There's not going to be another chance to become the first in this for very long anyway. So go ahead, Ann. Any final words?
No, that's it. That's it. It's just come on board. It's time. Mark said everything, and thank you, Mark, for the opportunity to share this, knowledge. I have to get it out there. It's my calling. Just like everybody has their own, and I'm thrilled to be able to bring the opportunity for people to put their voice and their message out there to the people that are supposed to. So come on in and join us, and we're all ready for you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ann, and everyone else. And if there's any questions you have, just do the same thing. Go to megahangout.com/WebTV show. Put your name and email address and phone number, and somebody will absolutely get back to you if, regardless of what you do next. So, and you'll see everything you need to do to get started. All right, guys, have a great and blessed day. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for everybody who showed, every one of you who stayed to the end here. Man, we have still a lot of people here who was watching the entire time, which we went way over. I think we're at 2-hour mark here. But you know what? I think the content was good. Matter of fact, I want you below to type in a comment, okay, just to say, hey, one thing that was your main takeaway, something that you really enjoyed learning about. Even if you're not going to do web TV, I want you to put something down there and say, hey, you know what? This was great. I can see a lot of people doing well with it. Some key aha moment, some key takeaway. Put that in the comments below, and we're looking forward to seeing them and also working with you. So everybody take care, have a great and blessed day, and we will see you soon, hopefully in web TV land. Take care.